Hello? Check. Everybody hear me?
More like cockroaches than human beings. Cockroaches, they only live in the darkness of the suffering of others.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Cockroaches.
When you go to the gynecologist, are there...
This is a little personal, but okay, yeah.
Are there things about the office you would change?
The actual office?
Right. Is there things when you go there, you go, I'm not looking forward to that?
I really like my gynecologist. I've been with her since I was a fetus. Like, we're friends. I love her. And she's only a couple years older than me, and we gossip, and I love her. So I always look forward to seeing her. The thing I don't like is she's in a new office now, and the waiting area is really congested. And it's not even a COVID thing. Like, even before COVID, I didn't like being there. And everybody's all up in your business. Like, they'll say, hey, Cooper Lawrence, are you here just for a pap smear? It's like, don't yell. Everyone can hear you. Mm-hmm. Even though everybody else is there for the big, what are you here for? It's like, shh.
So
business.
A doctor is designing his office. So he went on Twitter and said, I'm designing an office. What do you want to see with my office? What designs would you like or not like?
Right.
In an office. And one person said scales shouldn't be in public locations.
Scales shouldn't be there at all. I don't want them weighing me. But if they have to, no, they have a scale in your private room. I have never in my life been to a doctor where the scale is in a public location. Literally never. And you know how many doctors I've been to. Mm-hmm. I'm a hypochondriac, so I'm an expert in doctors' offices. They're all in the room. So that's weird.
No, my doctor, well, not a gynecologist, but my doctor has the scale out in the hall.
That's weird. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, so I have to take off my shoes and my jacket and whatever, because I'm not standing on that scale with shoes on. There's no way.
Right.
That's 25 pounds right there.
Right. You wear big, giant, heavy shoes.
Yeah, so I'm down to my underwear when I'm standing on the scale.
Right.
Other people say they want more diversity in the photos around the office. Like they'd never seen photos of black women in the office or different types of people. They want that.
Okay, so my doctor's office doesn't have any ethnicities at all. It's just the inside of it. You just see fallopian tubes. So, yeah. So there's literally it's not like they're fallopian tubes of Hispanic ladies. They're just fallopian tubes of like everybody. So they do a good job of being completely neutral.
That could be black or white. We don't know.
It's just fallopian tubes. You either got them or you don't. If you know what? If you're a guy, sorry, you're not accepted here.
A switch inside the room where you can turn it on to let them know you're changing clothes.
That's stupid. They knock on the door and they go, are you ready? And you go, no. They don't just walk right in.
No, they knock and they open the door. They don't wait for you to say something.
Oh, like an on-air light.
Right. That's what you need. Turn the microphone on and then turn the microphone off when you want them to come in.
Exactly. I'm on air right now. You can't come in. Okay, I am in my little gown. I'm off air. Come on in.
They also say a changing room inside the exam room.
That's an interesting one because where I get my mammogram, there's a changing room and a locker in one area where it's almost like a gym, like you go into a gym and there's like a locker room. And then the room where you have the mammogram is like down the hall. So you got to walk around in that stupid little paper gown. So yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want a little pile of clothing in your underwear on a chair.
Or I'm far away from it. Like I've left a pile of clothing and then now I have to go walk down the hall and just, leave my favorite sweater sitting there.
Yeah, somebody could steal it.
I mean, they give you a locker and they give you a key, but it's not like it's security. It's not very secure.
I didn't know this was a big thing, but I guess it is. Warmers on the stirrups.
Yes. Oh my God, that's the worst. Yes, but that's why we all keep our socks on. But if it's during the summer and you're not wearing socks, you're SOL. Those things are freezing.
Are they really? So when you put your legs in it, you go, ooh.
Well, you put your feet in it, and normally they're metal. But what my lady does, because she understands, because she got a vagina and she goes to her gyno, hers are now, it's like this weird kind of plastic where they're not cold.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just room temperature, so it's not a problem.
Another suggestion would be wood stirrups, because then they wouldn't get cold. So
Then you get splinters then.
adjustable thermostats in the rooms.
Yes, I want to be in charge of how hot or cold that room is. Yes.
Because you're the naked one.
Right.
So you want it either warm or cold. Okay. Buy equipment and gowns in larger sizes.
I think that's a problem in every industry. In fact, so when I go to my friend's hair salon, sometimes I'll help him out, like if he's super busy. And I have noticed that all of his gowns are all like size small and extra small, but his clients are not small and extra small. So he has a lot of those hair gowns that don't fit a lot of the ladies. They wear them like a little, either like a cape. They
bib.
just they throw it over their shoulders, but because they can't really put their arms through it and wear it, or it becomes like a vest. It's just it's useless.
A layout that prevents overhearing other conversations.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, not have rooms backed up to each other.
Right. That's important.
Because you can hear. So if you really try to listen, you can hear what's going on in the next room.
Yeah, if there's a vent or something, or if you're me, you actually stick your ear and try to listen.
With a cup?
The cup that you pee in.
You put that up against the wall.
I put that up against the wall. And I go, what's this lady's problem?
Ceiling lifts for people who can't get on exam tables by themselves.
No, that's okay. I'll tell you why that's dumb. Because every exam table now has a step stool, and they pull it out. It's attached to it. There's a step stool. Unless you're a complete moron and you can't work a step stool.
Is that like an engine hoist? Is that what people want? They want an engine hoist.
Ceiling, like what is this? A BDSM? You want to like hang from the ceiling with your legs open? Like, go ahead, have at it, lady.
Put away unnecessary instruments and models that can be triggering for patients.
Oh, please.
No.
I guess so, but yeah, fine. That's, you know what? If you're triggered by the gynecologist, that's what they do for a living. It's a gynecologist. Sorry to tell you, they have stuff out there that is about every aspect of gynecology. It's part of their industry. They're not going to hide something because you are afraid to look at a fallopian tube.
Well, I don't want to see a shot on the table when I go to the dentist.
No, they don't leave the shots out.
They do sometimes. It's a big metal thing that looks like it's from the 1700s. Freaks me out.
Well, they're going to use it on you.
I know, but I don't want to see it.
No, but that's different. What they're saying is, okay, so if you're somebody that sadly lost a baby, they don't want to be in a room where there's any OBGYN stuff, where there's no like, here's how a baby develops, which a lot of the rooms do. They should, okay, you know what? Maybe you're right. They should have one room that has none of that stuff in it, because if you just lost a baby, you do not want to walk into a room where they show you
the baby inside
a uterus. Yeah. I understand that.
Multiple waiting rooms.
That's my problem. That's what I'm saying. Multiple waiting rooms. Yes.
One for patients who are in their second or third trimester, another one for first trimester, and another one for people that aren't pregnant.
Right.
It's not a bad idea. And pay attention, they say, last but not least, pay attention to the angle of the exam beds.
What does that mean?
Not ideal to spread your legs while not wearing underwear while facing the door. So they don't want the bed with the legs open facing the door. They want it away from the door.
Not all rooms can accommodate that. That's a bridge too far. Did I ever tell you what happened to me with my gynecologist and my health insurance when you and I were working at the radio station?
No, what happened?
I get a call from the fraud claims of our health insurance. I can't believe I never told you this. So the health insurance that we had, part of it is you can go for a mammogram, you can go for your yearly pap smear, a checkup, whatever. I get a call from the health insurance fraud claims. They have opened a case on me for fraud. Why? Because I was claiming that I went to get a mammogram, which is very expensive, and a gynecologist, which is also very expensive, especially the one I go to, because some moron had me registered there as a male. Somebody at our company had me in the system as a male.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
When I went to my gynecologist and when I went to my mammogram, which again is very expensive because I also get an ultrasound while I'm there, they said that it was fraud, that I was participating in a fraudulent claim, as if I pretended to go there, didn't really go there, and whatever money was sent, to pay for it, somehow I get a cut of that. I don't know how that kind of fraud would work. And their basis for the claim of fraud was that I am a male. And if I'm a male, what am I doing getting a mammogram, or what am I doing going to a gynecologist?
I think the doctor got confused when they saw the name of the company and they thought you had a cock.
That makes more sense.
They said Cooper and they saw Cox and they said must be a guy.
Must be a guy, yeah. Except for the fact that I went to the same mammogram lady and the same gynecologist that I've been going to since I'm 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to call the company, and it just, remember you and I had so many issues with their unbelievable incompetence. Like, just the level of incompetence at that place in general was off the charts. Like, you and I couldn't believe it sometimes.
Right.
And of course, it didn't surprise me that some moron who saw my name, and I actually investigated it, and they said, oh, somebody must have seen your name and thought you made a mistake when you wrote female and instead clicked male. Oh, I got it wrong. I wasn't sure what my gender was. So you assholes decided that you were going to correct what I must have gotten it wrong with a name like Cooper, must be a male. You better go check the other box.
We should have known the first week we worked there when I asked if I could have a mic outside because we wanted to stand out by the highway and talk on the air, and they ran a mic cord from the studio all the way out to the road.
Right.
And we said, no, there's better ways of doing that. You don't have to run it down the hall.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
We thought we worked at a real radio station, but
no, we never did.
No.
Yeah, we were fooled.
Oh yeah, give me some. Cut me a piece. Go away, Baton.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
You know how you're always on me about being high maintenance?
I'm not on you because you're kind of high maintenance. You're very high maintenance.
But here's the thing. I think the idea that women are high maintenance is such a thing of the past.
No. Women aren't. You are. And I can just say I'm a guy and I'm high maintenance. I know I am. But you take it to another level.
Well, I pride myself on that. I've worked very hard, But what's really interesting, so I don't know if you saw this Reddit today. It was one of those Am I the Assholes? And a woman was asking, am I the asshole? Because her husband, who's turning 30, okay, he's just turning 30, he has a whole list of demands, not just for his birthday, which would make perfect sense. Like the joke on Family Guy is always that women celebrate their birthday week or their birthday month. Like women who turn 30, like you have this whole slew of events that go on like longer than a wedding. Well, that's what this woman's husband is doing. He has a birthday month list, and he has 5 things on his list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he has 5 things on his list that he is demanding for his turning 30 birthday month, and she doesn't want to do some of them, so now he's not talking to her. So she went to Reddit to say, are these fair? Am I the asshole? So let me run them by you, and you tell me, do you think this is fair? Do you think this is fair that this is what he's asking for his birthday month? Okay. One, he's being asked to not do any chores, not clean, not cook for a whole month. No chores.
Okay, I'm surprised. We'll stop you right there. I'm surprised this guy's turning 30. I would think this guy's turning 20 because this is the generation of me. I want a trophy for everything. And a guy, there's no guy that makes a list of demands for his wife.
Right.
This is a totally different generation than I'm aware of.
Well, this is really Gen Z because millennials are now in their 40s.
Okay, so this is that generation. It's all about me. No.
Okay, so you say this is unreasonable that he's saying I don't have to, no chores, no cleaning, no cooking for a month.
I mean, that's my rule all the time.
Right. But that's the price of doing business with you. Like when you got married, right, getting into a relationship with you, that was always on the table. I'm not changing a diaper. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning.
Not
that was
making a
always on
bed,
the table.
not doing
right, not
any
making
of
a
that.
bed. Exactly.
Right.
But he obviously does help with chores normally. He does clean and he does sometimes cook. But he said none of that for a month.
For a month. Okay.
For a month. Yeah. Number 2, he gets to play Xbox, quote, for hours on end without her interrupting him or nagging him about it.
If he's going to spend time doing that, she's got to spend time doing something else that he can't bother her while she's doing it.
The problem is once you start with like Xbox or whatever it is, whatever your platform is that you like to play on, once you start, hours pass. Like it's amazing how quickly like you look up at the clock and it's like, oh my God, I've been here for 4 hours. How did 4 hours go so quickly, So I think the concept of sitting and playing Xbox uninterrupted sounds great until you realize that that's pretty much all you're doing. You've completely ignored your spouse.
I know, but guys look forward to that.
Right.
That time.
Right.
That's their alone time. Their time
Now
with
this
the game.
one's weird. Number 3 on his list, he does not have to pay his share of the rent this month.
The douche. Yeah, no, that's not cool. That hurts the family. That hurts the whole household. So no, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's a weird one because first of all, I didn't realize that when two people are together, well, no, I guess when you're married, when I was married, we had one account that we both put money into, and that was the bill paying account. And that was, obviously, we didn't write checks. It would just come out of the account automatically. So we would both put in a certain amount every month, and then, all the bill people would just take the money that they wanted that month, basically. So it's weird that he wouldn't have to pay his share of the rent. Like, that's completely unfair, laying all that on her.
Yeah, then you don't live there for a month. Then go live with your mom.
Right.
Live with your mom
I can get a roommate for the month.
Exactly.
Yeah. Number 4, he can go out with his friends whenever he wants.
He probably does that anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
He's just saying, I want to go out with my friends and you not complain about it.
This one's disturbing because I assumed that he was just some guy who was turning 30 and they were married, like recently married. But apparently he's also a father because number 5, he gets to skip any day at work, sleep in, and not be bothered to wake up and drive their son to school.
Okay, you get that for one day. You get that on your birthday. You don't get that for a whole month.
You don't get that on your birthday. If I work a job that I have to be there at 3:00 in the morning, like you and I did, and you don't have to be at work until 10, and the kid's got to be at school at 8, sorry, I'm not getting off the air to drive our kid to school. No, I don't care that it's your fucking birthday. You're going to drive that kid to school if that's our deal.
Yeah, but
she boiled it down to this. She said he wants a month-long vacation and time off from his responsibilities as a partner and a father.
I agree. You need to divorce this guy. If he's coming up with this list and he thinks of these things, you just go and divorce him. Marry somebody else.
The weird thing is, like, okay, so if I had a birthday month wish list, it would include my boyfriend. Like, these are all things where he's completely excluding her. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to help her around the house. He wants to ignore her and play Xbox. He wants her to pay all the bills. He wants to go hang out with his friends. He doesn't want to have to be responsible for his son. I think that's the bigger red flag. Like, if my boyfriend had a full month off for his birthday, he would just want to lay in bed and have me cook food for him and have sex the whole time. Like, he would want me to just totally be up in his business and taking care of him in every way, shape, or form. Like, it would not exclude me. It would actually be more me.
No.
Not less me.
No, I think it would be a lot less you. I think it would be him staying somewhere completely different and not have you around.
No, my boyfriend, not anymore. I think a birthday month would include, maybe he would just want me to shut up a little more.
I don't know. A month without you sounds really good.
Well, that's you.
Deep down, that's what a guy really wants. He wants the bills paid and everything clean and just leave him alone.
The comments, she got over 32,000. She got tons of comments, 32,000 upvotes. Somebody said, if I pulled that shit on my wife, I'd expect divorce papers for a birthday present.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody said unrealistic, out of touch with reality. Is he serious? Are you married to a 3-year-old? Nobody said this is great. Everybody said he's entitled. This is a red flag. He doesn't want to be married to you. He doesn't want to be a father. Like, not are you the asshole? He's the asshole and you should run.
Yeah, and that's the problem with that generation. I want. I don't want to do anything for it.
Right. Yeah, he was obviously raised terribly.
Yeah, you knew the type of guy you married when you married him.
It's a good point.
So,
right. This shouldn't be a surprise to her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a surprise to us because we think, like, what the hell? But she should have been like, yeah, that's my guy.
I don't like girls.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
This is stupid.
People are calling out, quote, normal dating things that are actually not good. They're bad.
Like what?
Like, number 1 on the list, the 3-day rule.
Oh, so after you go on a date, you have to wait 3 days to contact the person.
Yeah, if you had a great time, why do you want to wait 3 days?
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
Well, the big problem with that is it's game playing. So if the beginning of your relationship starts out with playing games, you know, it's one thing if, like, you're not sure how you feel about them and you're truly busy and it happens to be 3 days before, oh yeah, that guy. But if you really like them, you had a good time, I think it's okay to, on your way home, be like, that was fun. Like, when are we doing it again?
Yeah. Howard Stern and his wife, Beth, after their first date, he called her when he got home and said, you want to come over and watch a movie? They have not been apart since.
Yeah, my boyfriend and I on our first date, you know, like, we went out for sushi and then we went in for sushi.
Oh God.
Sorry. Anyway, we've been together ever since. Okay, what's number 2 on the list? Why don't you move on? What's number 2 on the list?
Wow, I gotta go sit down. That's a lot to take in. Poor Joe.
Next on the list.
Staying until the end of the date if you're not feeling it.
Oh no, I think you get up and go.
Yeah, just stop. Just time out. This is not working.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, if you're not feeling it, I think it's wasting somebody else's time. It's sending the wrong message. It's doing a total disservice. I think it's okay to say, I'm not into this. You're awesome, but you're not for me. I'm going to split.
Right. Thank you for your time, but this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
And I'm not attracted to you.
And then leave. Yeah, totally.
Insisting that you give me, quote, a woman, home safely to my doorstep. I do not want my first date to know exactly where I live.
That's a tough one. Because, okay, so if the person picked you up, they obviously should make sure you get home okay. I think if you can take an Uber and say to the Uber driver, can you wait till I go inside? Like, watch me close the door. An Uber driver should do that for you, or a taxi driver, however you get home. It depends on where you live. I've heard a lot of stories of women that live in like shady neighborhoods having problems, and the date just like, bye, see you later, and like drove off.
Mm-hmm.
So if they picked you up, they should drop you off and wait for you. If you don't want them to know where you live, make an alternate plan to get home safely.
Yeah, that's why you need to meet somewhere. And if you're feeling it, then that's a different thing. But if you're not feeling it, you don't want the guy to know where you are, because you're going to block him. The minute he walks out of that restaurant or wherever you're at, you're going to block him.
I can't tell what's more unsafe, to go on a date with somebody and let them know where you live and you're not interested in them. That could be unsafe too, because then they can stalk you. They know where you live. That could be a bigger problem than some rando just seeing you walk in and taking advantage of it. So maybe that is the bigger risk.
Yeah, because if you block somebody, if you ghost somebody and they know where you live, that's scary.
Right, you're right.
Playing hard to get, it's a super toxic dating strategy for everybody involved. The person who's using the tactic is messing with the other person's head. Okay,
Except, I will give you the one exception. I have friends that are just way too much at the very beginning. Like they're just way too much. And it's not that they're playing hard to get. It's just that every relationship they've had, it is too much too fast. They go right in head first from the very beginning, and it could be smothering and overwhelming. So I think if that's your MO, if you're somebody that just, you're all in from the very beginning, I think you need to play it cool, not because you're playing games, but because you need to change your tactics, because being smothering is also not good and not healthy. So I think there's a balance between, I'm not saying playing hard to get, like that is toxic. If you're pretending that you're busy, if you're pretending you're not available, that's very different than somebody who is like always available. When can I see you? What about 4 o'clock? How about 5 o'clock? What are you doing tonight? What about tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's got to be a balance there. So you have to ask yourself, am I somebody who does too much too fast and is too insecure and needs the person around a lot? Am I playing a game? I think there has to be something in between.
One person said, I saw somebody recommend that people be 10 minutes late to the first date to determine if the other person is serious or not.
No, that's a game. That's honestly, if you're 10 minutes late, I'm already not interested in you.
Yeah, because I'm 10 minutes early. So that means you're 20 minutes late. So that means I'm good and pissed by the time you show up. And you're testing me on purpose. Not cool.
Right. That's a terrible game. If you do that to somebody, that is a really bad game to play.
I've been told countless times to pretend I'm interested in something that I'm not in order to get a date.
Okay, I think I might have told you this story before, but I'm going to tell it again to the people who haven't heard it. So I had this really good friend who was, kind of a decent looking guy, and he would go on lots of first dates, but he never got a second date. Mm-hmm. And, I just gotten my PhD in psychology, and he said, do me a favor. I'm going out with a girl I really like, and I want to see what I do wrong on the first date, because if I don't get a second date, I want to know why. So he chose a restaurant where I could sit right behind them so I can hear the whole thing. So she's really into dancing, and she's talking about like how Dancing with the Stars really brought dancing into the mainstream, and it's so great because she's been a dancer her whole life, and she teaches dance, and she's dance. I know that he could care less about dance. Mm-hmm. I know that he hates any reality shows, especially Dancing with the Stars, but he likes her, and she's really into it. So instead of saying, what is it about Dancing with the Stars that you like? Or what part of dancing is coming? Just asking her more questions about it. He immediately goes, ugh, I hate that show. It's so stupid. And starts like basically shitting all over dancing and shitting all over everything she just said. Mm. And you can see her body language. She was excited and talking. As soon as he said that, she sat back and crossed her arms. And that was it. That was the end of the date. I can see, even though they kept talking and they had more drinks, I could see that was the moment that she was like, screw this asshole. Like that was the end of it.
Did he get another date?
Well, after the date, I said to him, how did you think it went? He goes, I thought it went great. I said, uh-huh. And do you think you're getting a second date? He goes, definitely. I said, I will tell you right now, you're absolutely not getting a second date. I guarantee it. Why? What do you mean? What? And I told him exactly what I just told you. And even her body language. Like, you didn't even read the woman's body language. You shit all over something important to her. And then her body language told you she was really turned off by it. And you did nothing to turn it around. And he missed all of that. So I think if someone's talking about something you're not interested in and they're really into it and you like them, I'm sorry. People are into what they're into. And if you want to be in a healthy relationship, understand that the person you're with is going to be into some stuff that you're not into. And the healthiest relationships are the ones where one person has a life and the other person has a life. You don't have to like the same things. You just have to respect the other person. Right. So I think it shows a huge lack of respect.
Yeah, I've never seen the show, but tell me why you like it.
Right.
Tell me why you're into it. Oh, I love to dance. Oh, see, perfect. All right. Not talking about important issues on the first date.
Oh, yeah, you should never do that.
This woman said, in my early 20s, my friends always told me to keep the conversation light for the first couple of dates. But it ended
let me
up
tell
being
you
a
exactly
huge
why.
waste of time.
Nope. I don't think that's an old school thing at all. Here's why. People are so fucking serious these days. Dating should be fun. You should have a good time. The first couple of dates, I would say the first 10 dates or the first month you're together, you should just be having a good time and enjoying the other person. You should be getting to know them, but I think it should just be fun. And if you get like really serious or really political on the very first date, you're not a fun person. You're a stick in the mud. Like, have a good time. Leave the politics for another time. I'm sorry. That is not first date conversation. Unless you work for a campaign and it's a deal breaker if the other person doesn't like the same party as you. I'm sorry. The first couple of dates should be just having a good time.
And finally, they say ghosting. Just tell the person you're not interested. You're an adult. Leaving somebody hanging is just cruel and immature.
I agree with that 100%. That is, and more than that, it's really hurtful because the person doesn't understand why you've ghosted them. And people take that stuff personally. What did I do? What did I say? You know, they do a deep dive into like every little text, every little thing. I think it's okay to say to somebody, I just think we're too different. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then and the person has a reason, they can move on. I think when you ghost somebody and they thought it went well, I think you're setting yourself up for some trouble.
I think it's just avoiding conversation. I don't want to have another conversation with you. I don't like you.
I never ghosted a guy in my life. I always said, nah, I'm not into it.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot different because it's easy to ghost them. You just block them. Once you're blocked.
Actually, no, the opposite. It's easy. No, our generation, you had to call them on the phone or send them an email. Like now you could just text. You could just text them and be like, hey, thanks so much. Had a great time. I don't think this is going anywhere. Good luck. And then block them. But at least say something. I think just ghosting is rude.
No, I think even back in the day, I would ghost people. I don't even think I broke up with you. I just think I never answered your call again.
No, I think even after one day.
No, I was a douche. I think I just.
Okay, well, you were a douche.
Yeah, and I told my parents when I lived with my parents, just tell them I moved. If they call, who is this? Oh yeah, he's gone. He
doesn't live here anymore.
Right, we haven't seen him. We don't know where he's at.
Yeah, he moved to Rome, I think.
I think I have a pretty good notion of what they're up to.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I don't know if I ever told you, but my stepbrother and his wife are really into Disney. They're such big Disney fans that they had a Disney-themed wedding. He does cancer research. She's an oncologist. They literally spend their days curing cancer, and they're both huge Disney fans. Mm-hmm. They had a Disney-themed wedding, and they went, of course, to Disney World for their honeymoon. Here's something they might have been really into. I don't know how much money they have. My guess is not this much, but maybe one day. Disney theme parks have what they're calling it, kind of like it's like a special access, quote unquote, backdoor pass.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it's been a secret unless you are a celebrity or you're super wealthy.
Or you work in radio.
Well, yes, that's true. We have been to Universal, we have been to Disney, and they take us through the way that they take the celebrities because they're trying to show us the park because we have to get on the air and talk about it. So that is true. But there's a lot more perks that we're not given that the special access people are given. So, all right, it cost, let's see, 25,000 pounds because the story is a British story, but it has to do with American
So that's
Disney.
about 34 grand.
It's about $34,000 is what it cost you. $35,000, let's say. And you spend that and you become part of Disney's exclusive Club 33. Okay? So that's the initial amount you give them. And then you pay them an annual amount of
It's like a timeshare.
It's like it's like a timeshare. Then you pay them an annual amount of $11,000 a year to maintain the membership, which is like $15,000, 11,000 pounds. Okay, so there's a secret door that you can use when you go to anything that you do there. Okay, so what do you get for that money? Here's what you get: you get annual passes to the park. So you can get in for free anytime. You get 50 single-day admission tickets. So you could just like show up one day and just go. You get 5 private VIP tours, which is what we get when the radio people go. And I remember like when I was at PLJ, the Harry Potter world at Universal had just launched and they hadn't even opened it yet. And they had us come down there and they took us through privately. So we got to do all the Harry Potter things and the butterbeer and all that kind of stuff with nobody was there. It was just opening. Right. And then we got on the air and gave away a trip and talked about it and whatever. And then there's all these little private like restaurants and bars and places that only Club 33 people go eat. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like you walk through, you would never find these restaurants because they're basically hidden. They're
in the castle. There's actually a restaurant in the castle where you just walk past it if you're not. But if you're one of the people that pay for this, you get to actually eat there and sleep there.
Right, exactly. And then there's, at the Disney World Resort, there's all these private areas that are just for Club 33 people as well. So you can stay at the resorts as well. Elton John has this pass, Tom Hanks, Christina Aguilera. So there are celebrities, but there's also like super wealthy people. But what's really interesting, the only thing that's off limits to everybody is Walt Disney's apartment above the fire station. Nobody's allowed there. He's not using it. I know, but for some reason, no one's allowed there. Yeah, that's out of bounds because technically he's still in charge, they say. But, wow. But if you're very wealthy and you have that kind of money and you want to spend, I guess it's 25,000 pounds initially and then 15,000 a year.
I'm telling you, if you have that perk, when we were with Clear Results with the radio company, I mean, they would sneak you into a ride and you would just end up in front. You wouldn't even be in the line at all. It's like you just show up. Harry Potter, all you have to do is walk there and you're first in line.
Yep, they just put you right on the ride. You're not on the line at all.
No.
Yeah. It's not like one of those fast passes. It's not that at all.
No.
This is a whole other level where basically you have the whole place to yourself. And then also what a lot of celebrities do that have these passes is they close the park down for a period for you. So if you're a big celebrity and you want to go there with your family, like I think Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker just did this with their families. They went to Disney and they shut the place down for them for like 2 hours.
Yeah, the last time we went to Disney, we went in 3 hours before it opened. So we got to go anywhere we wanted to. See, you saw things. So I said, I want to see the restaurant inside the castle. I want to see that. And they took us everywhere we wanted to go.
Wow.
So, yeah, Universal, same way.
What is this?
Sounds like something I heard before.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I made a huge social faux pas. And I wasn't going to tell you about it, but I can't stop thinking about it because I
I don't know how to handle it at this point. I think I've really screwed myself up.
Did you tell another unfortunate joke again?
Almost
sorta.
almost as bad as that, Chad.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. Now, last year, do you remember last year how lovely those Renews It people were? And they sponsored a contest and they gave us money to give out to people. And I think in the end, somebody won $2,500 from the Renews It people. So they've called us again this year, not Renews It, but another company. And here's the thing. I'm the radio person. I'm not the salesperson. I'm not the business person. I have ideas sometimes. Mostly I go to Anthony. I'm like, oh, what idea? What do we do? What do we do?
And you wanted me to go with you to this meeting, but I said, no.
And you know what? And I regret that because I think had you been there and been speaking, I would have not told this story. So one of the things that we were talking about how color, literally colors like, pink and green and blue and purple, how they influence your mood. And I was talking about it, and a while back, our friend Casey called in the show and told a story that at the time was hilarious, and now I feel very unfortunate that I know that story.
She didn't tell the story over the air.
No.
It wasn't over the air?
No, it was
was it when we were out at Sean Lee's thing?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So
Oh,
not to bring it up
God.
on the air.
Right. She told us a story when Sean Lee was playing in what's that area called?
Noda.
Noda, right. He was playing in Noda, this area in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was playing his little music, and she came down.
His little music.
That's when she told us what?
His little music.
His little music. No, he's got very good music. Oh, God. I thought you told us that story on the air.
No.
Well, now, okay, so now there's two social faux pas going on here. One of them...
No, you can't say what the first one was.
One of them is that I can't say what the first one was.
That's how you set up a topic right there.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. And the thing is, so I lied to these people because I told them that we told the story over the air. And the punchline to the story is that we were talking about how color influences you and where you get color ideas from. And she was telling us she got a color idea from a body part.
Right.
And I, during the meeting, had no problem blurting out the word of this body part. And the weird thing is...
And it wasn't monologues.
Yeah. Had I said monologues, they would have understood.
Right.
Now, and the thing is, it's almost like once you hear your brain marching down that path, you want to scream after yourself, hey, come back! But there's just that moment where you just keep talking, even though you know your mouth should just shut up, stop saying what you're saying, and you keep going. And it was in a room of these people. I didn't even know them. Most of them were from Ohio. They were such nice, clean-cut American kind of people. You know what I mean?
Midwesterners, yeah.
Midwesterners, the salt of the earth. And for some reason, I choose to tell this off-color story in this room with these people. And had I insisted that Anthony come with me to this meeting, I know I would have not gone down this path.
Right, because I would have stopped you.
Yeah, and you would have been there and been just as entertaining. I felt the need to entertain these people and tell them a story that I thought at the moment we told on the radio show, which never happened. So I tell them this story, and at the end, I say this body part.
That just has monologues after it sometimes.
Yeah, usually has monologues after it. And I blurt it right out. And, these are people that I'm hoping will give us a significant amount of money.
And you heard a pin drop.
For this radio show so that we can do contests and give you guys money.
Right.
I go there begging for money so that we can give you money. That's how this all works.
Well, there are derivations of that word that would have been even worse.
Yeah, that's true.
So it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
I didn't say the slang term. I said the medical term.
Right.
I said what a doctor would say.
Monologues.
Doctor term monologues.
Right.
Yeah, part of the female anatomy monologues. And the thing is, the minute I got done saying it, the look on my face, you can tell that I made the mistake saying it. And they saw how uncomfortable I was. Thank you, Anthony, in case people didn't know what we were talking about. Yes, thank you. I said I didn't say the slang term for it. So please, you gotta stop doing that. So I get done telling this story, and the look on their faces, you could see how uncomfortable they all were. And I mean, the one guy says to me, well, my wife took me, he was so sweet. He was trying so hard to make me feel not as uncomfortable as I apparently was at that moment. He said, my wife took me to an art exhibit where the artist was taking pictures of that sort of thing. That's how he put it, that sort of thing, as a close-up. And it was part of the art exhibit. And I didn't really get it, but, it was art.
That's not art, that's porn.
No.
See, that's what you're supposed to say.
And I should have said that, but at the time, I realized the guy was trying really hard to dig me out of the grave I just dug for myself in this room of all these people who I'm asking for them to give us lots of money.
You just earned a "don't call us, we'll call you" moment.
I sure did. And I called up the person who set it up. And I said, here's what I said, before even prefacing it with what happened. I called up and I said, I'm the talent. I mean, this is how because I don't have that valve in my brain that tells me stop talking. That's how come I even have a radio show. So they have to acknowledge the fact that the reason why I'm even doing what I'm doing for a living is because I don't have that ability.
Because you'll talk about anything to anybody at any time.
Right, and it's a good thing if you're hiring somebody for the radio. Bad thing if you're sending them on a sales call.
Or trying to keep a secret.
Or trying to keep a secret. Yeah. So there we go. There's that as well. So, oh God, it's just faux pas.
That's twice this week. That's twice in 2 days.
What do you mean 2 days?
You stuck your foot in your mouth.
What? Telling Casey's story?
That was a sticking your foot in your mouth.
That was a sticking foot in my mouth.
And
using the words I did in a meeting where I was asking people for lots of money.
You have plaque on your pumps.
That's right. I got coffee breath. It's on my foot. Yeah. So, so I did it. It was I had a huge foot and mouth disease situation. And the thing is, I didn't know what to do. So I called the agent person who set up this whole meeting to begin with. And, with that preface of, if I didn't have that valve in my brain and I'm, trying to defend myself. And he goes, what are you talking about? I said the monologues word in this meeting. Should I call them and apologize? He said, no, because then you're making a bigger deal of it than it actually is. Then they're going to think that it was
not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they might have just thought, oh, she's a little nutty, but, still somebody that could, we maybe want to work with.
Yeah, because they actually want to do a campaign on the Spice Channel. That's right.
Oh, God. What an idiot I am. Really, what an idiot. It's one thing if you're at a party and you accidentally call somebody by the wrong name. That's bad enough. But I was with salespeople who could really make this show worth something financially for the listeners, not for us even. And I totally blew it. Totally blew it. So when did you have foot and mouth disease? What was your last really bad social faux pas? 877-6-Cooper.
Now, I had this a while ago. I was talking to somebody about somebody else, and I was saying bad things about them, and I forgot their best friend has a office right next to where I was standing.
Oh, God.
And when I shut the door, he went, uh-huh.
He heard everything you said about me?
Everything. No, not you. Well, that's when you just walk downstairs. Oh, no.
No, so, oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you not realize where you were, who you were talking around?
No, I had no idea. Because their office is kind of hidden. You don't realize that their office is there until you're walking away. And you say...
See, but the defense about you is the same thing. That if you were somebody that was better with social environments, you'd be terrible on the radio.
Right.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
no,
I'm going to use that as an excuse.
Well, it's just not me thinking. That's the thing. Is I forgot that person's office was right there. They don't even have a sign on the door. I completely forget that. Oh, yeah.
And they're
good friends.
And they were actually in the office while you were blabbing about them. Oh, no.
Blabbing about their friends. So that person was a bullhorn to the other person.
See, that's the thing. And you can't, I think the main advice is not to go back to that person. Just let it go. Because once you say anything, now you're making a bigger deal out of it than you need to.
I just walked away.
You did?
Yeah, I just said, oops.
That's what you got to do. I mean, I almost called those people back and said,
you can't do it.
Yeah, I just decided not to. I thought, chips will fall where they may. This is who they're getting in bed with. They need to know immediately, right up front.
If it doesn't happen, it's not meant to be.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Right.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. I'm a new listener, and I really love you guys.
Jenny, that's really sweet. Thank you.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate that.
Well, my faux pas, my mess up foot and mouth disease. I work at a coffee shop, and I'm a great people person. I love to make people laugh and, be an idiot sometimes, but I like to greet people right away. And two women walked up, and they looked really close in age, and, actually one looked older, and one looked younger, and I go, oh, mother-daughter outing?
Oh, no.
And they go, no, we're sisters.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Did you get a tip?
So what did you say? Did you just okay, what can I get for you at that point? How do you handle that?
Well, I just said, I actually looked at the younger one. I said, I thought you were the older one.
Oh.
Smart. That was smart.
Just oh my gosh. And I think I walked in the back. It was about 2 years ago, but it was one of the most embarrassing things ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you can't, and when those words are coming out of your mouth, you can't stop them, and you can't, that's it. You've said it, it's out there, it's hanging there, and usually they pause for a second to really make you feel like an idiot.
And the looks on their face are the worst.
Right.
But we thank you for making coffee.
You know what? I don't drink it, but I love to serve it.
Yes, thank you so much for making our coffee.
Yeah, and thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate
Yes.
that, Jenny. Thank you. That's really cool.
Where do you work?
Where do I work?
Yeah.
Caribou Coffee.
Oh, I love Caribou.
It's Anthony's favorite.
Oh, campfire mocha is the best.
Oh, well, have you tried our Snickers cooler? It's pretty good.
I can't. That's one of those places I go and I want to try something new, but why do I want to try something new when I know what I love? It's
yeah, that's true.
It's crack in a cup.
Right.
It's the greatest drink ever made.
Hey, but it's legal.
It's
That's
legal
right.
crack. It's legal, and I could afford it.
Cheaper than gas.
It's cheaper than
Cheaper
gas.
than gas. But thank you so much for making campfire mochas.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks, Jenny.
Love campfire mochas.
Hey, Christine.
Hi.
Christine, what was your last really bad social faux pas?
Okay. Well, I've learned since then, and it was about a year and a half ago, but I was a law clerk at a law firm, law student also. And I was talking to one of the partners at my law firm. For those of you who don't know what a partner it is, it's basically my boss.
Okay.
And we're talking about cars, and just so happens that my husband loves BMWs. We don't own one, but his dream car is a BMW 7 Series.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells me that there's no reason no one should ever get a 3 Series because 3 Series are just crappy cars. They're people pretending like they have a lot of money and they don't. If you're going to get a BMW, get a 5 Series at least, or else go for the 7 Series. So I don't know anything about cars, but I pretend like I do. So that's how I view cars.
And you said that with dignity. You said that like you really know cars. You don't waste your time on those 3 Series. Those are for posers.
Yeah, this one of the partners was talking about how he wants to buy a 3 Series, and I say, don't buy a 3 Series. Those are crappy cars. They're just a bunch of posers wanting to buy it.
They're for girls.
It's just ridiculous. I don't know. I wouldn't even be caught dead in a 3 Series, and I drive a '98 Grand Prix, so. So then the partner to whom I was speaking said to me, are you just saying that because Bob's in the room? And Bob is another partner who happens to own a 3 Series.
Oh. Please tell me you played it off like, yeah, ha.
Oh, heck yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
I was like, joke's on you, Bob. Yeah, I totally knew that you had a 3 Series. But I was just like, I need to find another job pretty soon here because they're never going to let this one go.
You're going to fire me, aren't you? Oh, okay.
No, I had many moments at that place. I'm not working at that firm anymore, but that was my choice. So.
Good.
I'll drive away in my Honda now.
I know. Whoops.
Thank you, Christine. Hi, Terry.
Hello.
Terry, when did you last have the foot and mouth disease?
Well, I was in Ohio, working in a TV store.
Oh my God! I thought you were gonna say I was in Ohio. I was talking to a radio personality about sponsoring her show. I just totally panicked.
I was working in a TV appliance store, and this young couple came in, and they were the Barbie Ken type people, very prompt and dressed nice, young couple. And then I went to sell them the TV, and they said they wanted it. So I said, you got 90 days, same as cash. And they said, okay, well, let's go up here and fill the paperwork out. So I'm sitting there filling the paperwork out, and they're along to my left side, and behind them is the boss lady of the TV store. So I get to the point, and I'm supposed to ask them, do you have any outside income source? But that's not what come out of my mouth. I stuck my foot in my mouth, and I said, do you have any outside intercourse?
Did they think you were making an offer?
Well, it got real quiet, and I looked up, and they were waiting to see who would answer first. And then I looked back behind them, and the boss lady sitting there with her mouth over her hand, just about ready to throw up. She's laughing so hard.
I wanted the man to say, well, I have slept with my secretary.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
That's when you answer real quick. No! You make sure you answer before your wife. No!
So that's why my wife calls me Silver Tongue.
That's great, Terry. So what social faux pas have you had lately? When did you have a real bad foot-in-mouth disease situation, Alex?
Hi, first time I've called you guys.
Hey, cool. Thank you, Alex.
Welcome.
That's really cool.
Thank you. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting several years ago. It was a golf tournament, and I was standing in a group of women talking, and this woman looked to be about 8 months pregnant, and I asked her when her baby was due. And there was like 8 women standing there. And she said, excuse me. I said, when's your baby due? And she said, I'm not pregnant.
That's the worst.
I wanted to die. And to make it worse, about a month later, I joined Toastmasters, and she was there. And 2 weeks later, she gave a speech on what it was like to be overweight in today's society.
Oh, no!
And I knew she was talking to me, but she didn't look overweight. She looked pregnant. Unless I see the belly button popping, I never ask anybody.
Yeah, Anthony says unless you see a crowning.
Unless you can see the head.
Unless you can see the head.
Exactly.
Don't ever ask that. And Alex, that's so interesting because that's the one lesson you learn, that you say that to somebody once and you never make that mistake again.
Oh, yeah, because when I sat through her speech, it's like, nobody else knew, but I knew it was to get even with me.
And, I'll tell you, Alex, it works both ways because I have a friend who was pregnant, and we all went out, and because I've made that mistake too, where I asked somebody if they were pregnant, they were not, and it was a stranger. Luckily, they never had to see again. It wasn't like a social environment that I'd be like, okay, sorry, can we make up now? I just said it. I was dumb, and then went on. And I was with a friend of mine who actually was pregnant, and she called me a couple weeks later. She said, I was really insulted that you didn't say anything to me like congratulations. I said, and I was like, for what? She said, I'm pregnant. You think I always look that fat?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, good. Yeah, you can't win either way.
Exactly.
And I said to her, I said, what if you weren't? And I said, congratulations. Then you would have been really mad at me.
Oh, and I work with people all the time that are pregnant as part of my profession, and I will not ask them. I'll say, so how many children do you have?
Exactly.
And it's like, fine, but I will never do it again.
Remember, when you see the head, you can say that. Until then, no, don't assume.
Unless they're crowning.
Because you know what assume means, so don't do it.
Right. Hi, Herb.
Hey, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Now, Herb, I can't imagine you would have a social faux pas.
Oh, yes.
How bad?
Oh, really bad.
What'd you say?
Okay. This has been about, 6 years ago. And you got to imagine the scenarios. Spring day, I hadn't seen my neighbors, one of my neighbors in particular, for the whole winter time. Everybody in the neighborhood's outside. And he comes up, and he's got a prosthetic foot.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I say is, oh, my gosh, Eric, what happened to your foot? The whole neighborhood is outside. Everybody, and it's in slow motion. Everybody turns and looks at me. I don't know what to do.
Now, did you not know?
No, I didn't know. I hadn't seen him the whole weekend. I mean, the whole winter.
And how did he respond? How did he handle it?
I think he said, you know what? I think, I don't remember right at the moment. He was just, he was calm about it, definitely, but nothing out of the ordinary, but,
Yeah, you were so, like, mortified that he could have said anything to you, and you have no idea what he said because you were just thinking, oh, my God, what did I just do?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I walked in the house. I didn't come back outside the whole weekend. And
spend the rest of the year indoors.
I think.
Can't show your face in that neighborhood ever again.
You know the feeling. You shouldn't talk.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I was like Herb. No, but the thing is, I am like Herb. That's the problem.
You should only talk when you're ordering food. That should be the only time you talk.
Even then, just point. Just take the menu, point at something.
Unless you're in a drive-thru. And just the only thing you can say is, number one, please. Would you like anything else? Number one, please.
Yeah, if you don't talk, you can't get into trouble.
Right.
That's the thing. So when was the last really bad social faux pas that you had? The little foot and mouth disease, 877-6 Cooper. Hey, Emily.
Hi, Cooper.
Now, what happened with you?
Okay. I am an individual therapist, and I was doing an intake for a new client, and the new client didn't smell very good. So after starting the questions for the intake, I excused myself and said I had to get a piece of paper and put some air freshener on my arm in the bathroom, hoping to cover up the smell. And that really didn't work. So while I was asking the questions, I just took out some whiteout and pretended like I was writing stuff out on the paper, hoping the fumes would really cover it up under my nose.
You brought whiteout, Sharpies.
But the problem is, this is where it just, I don't know how this happened. It just happened. I lifted the bottle of whiteout up and the little paintbrush up and sniffed it right under my nose in front of this client. So I'm in front of a client. I'm supposed to be helping with their issues.
You're like smelling whiteout.
And next, I'll shoot up heroin.
Yes.
And they went home that night, and everybody, the family was like, so what do you think your new therapist? I think she has a problem.
Yeah,
she may have some sort of huffing problem.
Wow.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I think that was really the first horrified look I ever had in therapy at myself for sniffing whiteout.
That's great. Oh, my God. That's fantastic.
Did they ever come back?
Actually, no, they didn't.
Yeah, I wonder why. Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
Well, you learn.
Oh, God. Thank you, Emily.
I think she has a problem. She's sniffing whiteout. Telling her about my mom.
The image of that. Like, you're sitting there talking about what your real deep problems are.
And then my mom, she came in. What are you doing?
That's great. Hi, Nathan.
Hey.
Now, Nathan, when did you have your last really bad social faux pas?
It was with my girlfriend, who's my wife now, and I had just met all of her friends at this huge party, and I didn't know any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all sitting around telling their stories from the past and stuff like that. And finally I got the nerve up, after a couple beers to go ahead and interrupt and tell them one of my stories. And it was about the time. Now, if you were to know me, and all my friends laughed about this, but they didn't even know me. And I told them how I went to this porta-john to use the bathroom at night one time a long time ago. And I went to the bathroom, but I didn't hear anything. I was sitting down, and when I opened the door with the light and everything, I realized that the lid was down the whole time.
Oh, no.
It had just stayed there. And I was laughing so hard telling the story. And when I finished saying that part, I looked up at them, and they just had these horrible looks on their faces.
They were horrified. Like I just smelled bad cheese.
Yeah, and I just took my beer and just walked in the other room. And I was so embarrassed. And then they looked at your girlfriend and went, he's a keeper. No, they did. They all told her the story, too, and I was so horrified because I didn't want her to hear, but I was just telling them because everybody was loosening up and stuff, and now I'm all friends with them, and I still never bring it up. So
And they don't either, because that would be a social faux pas to bring that up.
I don't want to hear other stories from me. I know.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Way to make a first impression, Nathan.
Right.
Well done. Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, how are you?
Rhonda, who do you know that has really bad foot and mouth disease?
Oh, my mom. She's one of these people that gets real close to the word, but not quite.
Oh, no.
Kind of twist it a little bit. But she and I were in the car with this guy she wanted to invite over to dinner, and she was trying to give him directions, and I was in the back seat, and she was saying, well, go so far down 601 South, and there'll be a road that goes off on your left. There'll be some chicken houses there. And right across the street from it's a testicle station. I'm in the back seat. I'm trying to slowly slide onto the floor. And
Where's this now? What's the address?
Yeah, they'd be lining up outside that station.
Sean Lee, I know you can get a pair.
Get him back.
Sean Lee, I know you can get him back.
Yeah. She does that all the time. It's it can be pretty embarrassing to be out in public with her.
Oh, that's very good.
Wow.
I love people like that, the malaprop people, I love that. That's great. Hi, Jeff.
Well, hello there.
Now, Jeff, you know what we're talking about here, right? The whole social faux pas thing.
Yeah, the family I come from, I could spend the rest of your time going through social faux pas.
Oh, that's good.
Here, I got a quick one. Is one thing you never want to do is if you're trying to impress a girl on the dance floor, when you're dancing to Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy.
Yes.
Don't mouth the words, because when you say two, there's a chance you're going to spit on her face accidentally.
Oh, that's very good advice. Thank you. Yeah, it's very good, Jeff.
But the worst one, I would say, for me is I had just married my wife, and we were out doing some activities with some of my in-laws' friends. This was about 10 years ago. And they had their grandson with them, and I was going to run into town because we were out in the wilderness, and asked them if they needed anything, and the missus said, yeah, we need to get some diapers. And I asked what size, and they said, 4 or 5. And I looked at Bob, the mister, and I said, strange, I thought you would have taken bigger. I found out later he had a colonoscopy, one of those surgeries that he now had to wear diapers.
Oh no! Oh God!
I think I've seen him once since, and I didn't really talk to him much.
Oh my gosh!
I felt about a half-inch tall after I found that out.
I hope somebody told him that you didn't know and you were just joking. I really hope somebody explained that to him.
I hope so, but I doubt it. It was just me, him, and his wife were the only 3 that were in the conversation.
Oh no!
Wow.
So,
oh
yeah.
Man.
So
Yeah,
don't joke about diapers to your elders.
Yeah, that's definitely foot and mouth disease right there.
Advice to live by.
Right.
Hi, Mike.
Hi there.
Mike, when was your last really good social faux pas?
Oh, it happened at work. Some friends and I had gone in on some food. We put it in the lunchroom. And when we came back, a big portion of it was missing. And we had a suspicion of who it was. It was a female coworker of ours. And when we confronted her on it, she denied it. And I said, don't deny it, Jackie. We can smell it on your breast. I wanted to say breath, but
wait,
it came
you said
out
breasts?
totally wrong.
You can smell it on your breasts? So you were standing very close to her, I guess.
Oh, yeah, very close.
You can smell it on your breasts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's a social faux pas, I would say. Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she got a sexual harassment suit against you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, before you do that, make sure you get your words out.
I could smell on your breasts.
Right.
Is that Freudian?
No, nothing's Freudian. Freud isn't even Freudian. Do not say the
Isn't
F
that
word.
a Freudian slip?
That's what they call it, isn't
That's
it?
a Freudian slip.
No,
when
no,
you're
no.
thinking about something and you say something else?
Yeah.
Isn't
Smell
that the
on your
definition?
breasts.
You cannot say the F word around me, please. We've been through this, boys.
But
We've been
that's
through
the
this.
term for it is Freudian slip.
Okay, well, fine.
It's not a Jungian slip.
No, but the concept of a Freudian slip is the whole thing is flawed. Don't get me started because we don't have enough time.
That's
to
what
go
it's
into
called.
It.
That's the label.
I know. Unfortunately,
whether it's legitimate or not, I'm not going to debate. But that's just what it's called.
It is what it's called, but it's not legitimate. That's all you need to know.
What it is.
Now
That's all you need to know.
When the mics go off, she's going to yell at you.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. So here, let's take a break, so I can yell at Chad.